of day. It's quite early. It's about 8 o'clock or 8:30. Yeah, but it must be about 8:30, and it's a couple of days later since the last video. Yesterday was a bit wet and windy actually. Today, this is better than expected, but we're supposed to have about 10 degrees. We were supposed to have about 10 degrees 2 days ago, but it ended up like 15. So coming up today, we are going to have a look at the spray cover. We're going to also have a look at the tent. We've got the sewing machine with us, and I'm hoping we can push that along a little bit, because the tent's going to make a huge difference to cruising. And then when it warms up, we have got a little bit more epoxying, and the final epoxying and resining and fiberglassing, beg your pardon, to do. And then, other than a few little jobs we can do down at the lake, like wiring, things like that, we're kind of done. We're ready. First job is to try and do this without getting my jogging bottoms all wet, but we're just going to check all the epoxy has cured. It's definitely cured. This was always going to be a bit of a problem. Yeah, we've got a little bit of gapping there. But what we'll do today, we'll fill this up with a bit of 404, and then we'll need to then just come in and sand this nice and flush. There's a little bit of dripping there. The bolt looks nice, so we're going to cut that bolt today. That looks really good. I'm really happy with that actually, and I'm happy we put the washer down as well. And what we'll do, we'll cut this and we'll get this epoxied over as well. What else did we do? This, oh yeah, a little bit of dripping there as well, but that is beautiful. Now, when I did this before, it seems a long time ago now, we set the ridge of this quite high. You know, it was probably right up here, but I'm beginning to wonder whether we should set the ridge a bit lower. The lower would be better against the wind, less tent to manage, and what I'm trying to then do is get the tent ridge to join up with the spray cover. Now the spray cover is going to have those two pieces of wood coming down. Even if we don't do that, we can put press studs on the top where the tent can connect to the spray cover and make one long thing. We can then have a door on the end of the tent as well. So, you know, we can then, you know, with or without the spray cover, we'll be able to set the tent. And then what I'm thinking of, we'll just have some little flaps that click on there. Now, we can rise the ridge up. There's no reason why the tent can't be low down there and high up this end. So, everywhere's soaking wet at the moment. I just don't fancy getting wet. But what would be nice is if we could sit on here, or here, so we can sort of you know, sit down at least. And as you can see at the moment, it's a little bit low, so I don't know about this. So now the idea is I can, yeah, you know, I've got a seat here. This is higher, isn't it? Yeah. The ridge isn't too bad. I am wondering whether we can go a bit higher, to be honest with you. There we go, it's a bit higher. That's it. I'm happy with that. Let's try here. Yeah, look at that. So that's spot on, isn't it? And then look at that size of that door. You know, if you think about, let me try and do a video of me. So here's me trying to get out. Unzip here. And like that. And this would go back or in or roll it up. And then, there we go. And then if we need to get out that side, you can stand on this, in between there, or disembark this side. And that's going to be the shape of it. Yeah, I think that's cool. I like that. And then you know what? If we decide we need to lower it and make it straight, well, we just lower it and we'll cut the tent. We can always cut fabric away. So I'm quite happy with that. So anyway, let's get this existing tent over the ridge. So probably going to have to show you this more than explain it. But what I'm thinking, is we throw this over, and then rather than doing anything at the side of the boat or on the gunnels, a lot of people have these lacing eyes, or lacing hooks I think you're called. So they're these things down here, and they put them on the outside of the hull. You just get a little, bolts come through here. This is fine. You're not going to hit the bolts because it's quite got an angle in, and these don't upset me anyway. However, I did wonder, if I got these all the way down the boat anyway, why wouldn't I use those? Because I think the angle of this is going to be perfect to hook over those. And actually what we do is we simply make the same thing as we've got here. Now, one thing I was just having a little look at is if we just mimic, so one thing I was having a look at here is if we mimic the ridge going up to here, then will those hold? And the answer to that is I think they will. Under the right tension, they will hold. This is the right side, so you can see I've got that measured there, and then what I've done is I've measured this down and I've pulled it so it's tight, and then I've marked off where that would be, so like there. Because we need to shape this. If we do it straight one side, we're just going to get loads of creases in the tent. So it's worth doing this. And as I've gone down here, I've just held the line where it needs to be. In fact, this needs to be a bit more, this one. I did wonder about that. So I'm just going to remark this one a bit tighter. And this one here, these were the first ones I did, and I don't think I marked these quite as well as I should have done. So you can see it's nice and tight. And what this is going to do when we draw these together, so look, you can see now that one and that one are tight, that one and this one is tight. Now they don't have to be spot on, but just to give it that curve, and it will just help the tent be crease free. And then what we can do is work out where the other ones need to be and then follow the same curve the other side. Now what I'm not going to do is cut this just yet. I'm actually just going to put the PVC on at the right spot, and then we'll put some holes in, see if they work. Just realised one thing I can do is measure this triangle, because it'll actually go on this ridge. So we can just pull this down. Oh gosh, I'm going to do it the other side because the sun is crazy. I'll try and get you out of the sun. So we're just going to measure from the ridge down. I'm going to do it this way, like this. Try and get that hooked over nicely. Again, it doesn't have to be super duper accurate. It has to be fairly. There we go. So that is actually 128. So let's just do that again. Yeah, definitely 73.5. So we're going to say 73.5, but we're going to just add this little bit in as well. 70.5, 74, 75.5. So 128, 75.5 along there. But then we've got a curve that goes from 4 to 5 at the top there, to I'd say 13 there. So this drop is 13, the angle is 128, this is 75.5, and then we may as well measure the height, but through the magic of trigonometry we'll be able to work this out anyway. Just going to come up here and do it this way. And then the height here will be 97. So that's all on record. I'll have to refer to this video, I think, because I left my pencil in the camper van. It's getting warm. So I think the next job, I'm going to cut this block, and I think we're going to mix up some epoxy, and we'll just get that going, because the sooner we can do that, the sooner it'll go off. And the good temperatures are now, you know, they do drop off a little bit this evening, so and then go a little bit cold again. So the first thing we've got to do here is just chop this, haven't we, which is a shame. So the first thing I'm just going to double check here is, does it fit in behind there? Yeah, I think we've got to chop it at an angle like that. Let's make a line. One thing we don't want to do is chop through the hull. So I'm just double checking, because I think a lot of that is being held on by the glue. Yeah, there we go, that's good, that's spot on, look at that. And then this, well, I'd have to sand or just glue a little bit through there, but let's just pop that in there now. There we go, that works exactly as we want it. And then we can actually pin that up there somehow at a later date. Yeah, that's all good. That's spot on, that's exactly how I want it. While we're at it, we may as well chop this off as well. This is stainless steel, so I'm hoping this is a metal multi-blade. I'm hoping this will do it. So I'm just basically filling all these little gaps, and to be honest with you, just making this good. It was a bit of an awkward spot for the fiberglass, it turns out, this, so bit of a few nasty angles in here, and that fiberglass was quite thick. So we're just filling in, there's a couple of little voids, and then where the screws go, we're just going to give that a little bit of extra, you know, on the top there. So the idea of all this is that even if the screws were to fail, break off, whatever they want to do, there's now a good, I would say there's about 5 mil of fiberglass epoxy above them. That means that they shouldn't technically create a leak in the boat. Next job, just put a bit on here. I've just cut that sharp edge away on the bottom there, and we're just gonna put a little bit of this down, make that smooth. Just want to put a little bit around that for two reasons really. This can't tighten up anymore. It's pulling through the wood of the keel band. So two reasons I'm doing this. One is to seal it up good and proper. The other reason is to just get rid of that protruding bolt. Just make this nice and smooth. I did notice this edge was not done, unless it just sucks it up. Got that line there, and here goes nothing. There we go. No going back now. And that's sort of okay. I mean, it is what it is, isn't it? So now we've got to work out how we're going to put this PVC along there. Now, I've used this webbing with good effect on my sunshade. And yeah, okay, it's not I mean, I've only used it once. It's not under the same sort of forces as the webbing. But one thing I did think about with this was, I think it's too thin to put over the edge, isn't it? Yeah. But we could do a piece like that. And what I like about this is it does sort of, it will bend and it will follow the shape a little bit better. So I think we should use that. Right, let's get pinning. So I'm going to try and get it, you know, shaped a little bit. I think, look, this is going to serve as a bit of a practice as well. If we don't get the shape we need, then we'll start again. We'll try again, and we'll try a different way. It's got a grip. I didn't grip the. But you know, we'll do our best, and we'll try and get this nylon, you know, gripping properly or sewn in the right spot as much as we can. My camera battery ran out. I didn't realise. But I've run that down. Look, you can see there it is. That's the inside. It was hell to sew. This fabric is hell. It is hell to sew. It's so slippery. It's not, look, you can see it's a little bit of bagging here and there. But look, we got it. And it has got the shape we need. So what I'm going to do, we need to go back to the boat now. And we need to get some eyelets put in here.